When do you plan on putting in that new fence we've been talking about since last summer?
I guess I could start tomorrow.
Protect the ones you love and protect your buried utilities by contacting 811 before you dig, either by phone, the web, or the NC 811 app. Know what's below before you dig. Visit nc811.org to learn more.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the NSR Xfinity Series brought to you by Simtrax Broadcasting. Tonight is going to be an interesting race and definitely a wild one as we arrive here at Iowa Speedway for the Iowa 250. And of course, 250, you know what that means. 250 laps we're getting lined up for here tonight. Stellar will be joining alongside me here in just a moment, but as we're seeing kind of qualifying boil down here over the past few minutes, right now, there are some hot times. Eric Schaefer, John Williams, and Mike Bruno, just to name a few. Johnny Taylor looking just outside that top 3 spot, and rounding out the top 5 right now is Michael Strickland. So we'll see if anybody else decides to put down some times. I will admit more than 20 drivers are lined up for this race, but oddly enough, I'm looking at about another 8 more that are not qualifying. Josh Keller, Justin Cope, Adam Benfield, looks like Jason and Brandon Hastings, Brandon Banks, and Corey Hines. Now, Corey Hines, I don't know about you guys. I think we all know what that's coming down to once we get to looking at the points, seeing that so far this season, he is sitting already with 4 wins lined up for him. He's obviously locked into the playoffs, so a lot of guys are going to be tumbling around trying to see if they can battle back and get on top, because this is going to be a tough run for them out here. But it's not without trying, though. I've got to admit, some of these guys are going to be really pressing their luck to see if they can fight through this field. And Iowa, I would probably guess, is not one of those tracks that you really want to kind of waste time. You got to really shoot up to the top, find your groove, and move up front. So as I said, the Iowa 250 tonight, stages will be at lap 60 and 120. Of course, 100% fuel limit. And we are looking at 4 sets of tires down pit as an open setup league. No fast repairs. I'm coming to you as your lead producer, Stella joining us, and Corey Boudnot will be our race control. 83 degrees down there on the track. Stella, talk to me a little bit about it here as they're getting ready to get lined up.
Well, this track is 7/8 of a mile. It's a paved oval. It's got some pretty decent banking. The turns are 12 to 14 degrees. We got 10 in the front stretch, 4 in the back. There'll be 30,000 viewers in the stands for tonight's activities.
Excellent. I'd like to see each and every one of them go ahead and start posting who they think is going to win tonight out there in the chat. I know I'm waiting to find all those Stony Benfield team members out there and everybody rooting him on in the 75 Ford, which he'll actually be starting ninth as we're getting ready here in just a moment to find our guys out there as they're lining up down pit road as we speak. And I'm waiting to see if that Chevrolet is going to be kind of visiting us a lot here tonight. Back and forth, we'll see a lot of these guys go, try to fight back and see if they can make any sort of difference out there. I'm definitely expecting to see some of these guys like Matt Sisler, who unfortunately qualified outside the top 10 here tonight. He's going to be seeing what he can do to see if he can push forward a little bit. But fortunately, with open setup league, you can make the adjustment you need to do. I've seen guys have a terrible qualifying. I've seen guys have a terrible first half of the race and slowly make those adjustments as the track comes around and all of a sudden just absolutely come out of nowhere and make a huge difference. So let's go ahead and get straight to our grid tonight and how they're lining up. Eric Schaefer in the number 4 will be starting in the number 1 spot next to John Williams. Williams being fast as of late in that number 5. But man, oh man, does he seesaw back and forth. You kind of think he'd win it, but he doesn't. Mike Bruno will be sitting 3rd next to Johnny Taylor. Mike Strickland is 5th next to Eddie Rose. Starting row number 4 will be Dustin Hall and Nathan Biggert. Nathan Biggert looking to see if he can kick it out tonight and come up with a fast start and a good ending here. And hopefully that Bass Pro Shops that 02 Chevrolet that he is driving is going to make a difference. Stony Benfield in the 75 machine will be 9th next to Mark Sikosi. Sikosi, he has a hot qualifying time. We just got to give him to finish here in the top 5, so he's going to be looking to make a shot for it. In that number 8 car, Matt Sisler will be sitting in the 66 on the inside of row number 6. And Jesse Priest. Well, we saw Priest last week. He was fast, but man, he just wasn't able to hang on to it for as long as he had hoped. And I think he was looking to press farther into the top, but was just unable to with the amount of time that they had out there. All right, moving on to Matthew Wheeler and Keith Fonseca. These guys battle side by side a lot next to Thomas Stanley and Jerry Culver. Corey Hasley, Jason Crumley sitting 17th and 18th. Corey Hines, like I said, he is top in the points, but he'll be starting 19th tonight next to Benfield, who is 17th. So he's going to be moving on through. Let's see how Benfield does. He'll be in the 20th position. Brandon Banks, 21st. Brandon Hastings in the 22nd spot. Justin Cope looks like 23rd, but I am showing Jerry Culver, Jason Hastings, and Josh Keller not lining up here tonight, so that may do it for us as we get this one launched off. Stella, I don't know about you, but Eric Sisler, John Williams look ready for this one.
Oh, they do. I know Matt's out there saying he doesn't know what he did wrong to be in the outside the top 10 in that qualifying, but he'll score it away.
Yep, well, as we are under green here already, shooting out to the front is Eric Schaefer. John Williams drops down to second, see if they can catch up just a little bit. I'm waiting for the 87 to see if he can clear the 46 of Eddie Rose. Rose trying to hold on to it here, but he sits there on the outside. Rose is going to command and conquer, get that 5th spot, and go ahead and put guys behind him. I do want to slide back already where Corey Hines is, as Hines is now watching a 3-wide deal going on back here. I believe that is Thomas Stanley in the 62 Toyota, dropping down for a 3-wide all the way back here. I know we normally hang out in the top 5, but I'm already here in the back 19-20 area as we are seeing guys looking to make a lot of time and get back to the front. Stanley losing a bunch of positions here as he slid all the way to the inside. He's lost 5, but Hines has gained 6. Moving on up, Sikosi will be the next on his list as the number 8 is caught on the outside where Stony Benfield is as well. Stoney seems to be marching back, unfortunately, but he is giving Sisler a hell of a run here as right now we are seeing Sisler and Benfield here looking to see if they can hold on to it. No can do here for Sisler as he's trying to keep out in front. Jesse Priest is going to change his mind as right now Sisler getting way loose here on the track, Stella, and kind of expected to see this right at the beginning.
Yeah, this is it's good hard racing though. I like it side by side. I'd rather that than a long string. I noticed we have a couple Stony fans out there. T.S. Ritchie and Barbara Pinion are already chiming in.
All right, excellent, good. Well, right now the faster pastor is still holding on to that 9th position. I give it right now to Matt Sisler for kind of keeping the nose in on there, but if he doesn't pass Stony Benfield, Jesse Priest is going to be the next one to overtake him as well, so it may be a 2-for-1 shot. Priest trying to take a peek on the outside. He does get a good clear as looks like, Stony Benfield, I think, has got him by about half a car length, now 1 car length out in front. Jesse Priest trying to take another peek as well, and right now I'm wondering if Sisler's getting held up by the 0-2 of Nathan Biggert. Biggert dropping a couple positions here as he's falling down to 10th, and Sisler is moving outside the top 10 as well. So Sisler is sliding to the top now, and he is seeing if he can find out if that outside line can hold, because the 0-2 is just seeming to hit the brakes on him.
Yeah, the line seems to be where to be right now on this track.
Yeah, well, outside line will probably be more favorable for these right side tires, as it is going to get shredded up. I know we do say that about a pretty good amount of time for out there, kind of about these different tracks and what we see about, how they kind of slide around out there on the track. We call them right tire fryers, but this track is a little odd, as they say, not only the right side, but the big problem they have is a left rear tire here at Iowa. Some of these guys aren't able to keep them really in contact with the ground with as bumpy as it is, and that's exactly probably what we're going to see here tonight is guys trying to tumble around, finding out where their exit is. Because I've seen actually calling for a race at Iowa, the exit of turn 4 is the most treacherous here, and we're actually taking a ride along here with Nathan Biggert, and you kind of see the bumps and bounces. Whoa! Sisler gets bucked right there, and really there's only one line that you can take out of, coming out of turn 4 at Iowa, where you can maintain, with it being so bumpy. So some of these guys may have softened up the suspension, and that's exactly what you want to do to try to see if you can smooth out this ride here tonight. But it's just going to be so difficult seeing how they're jerking this wheel around, trying to maintain. But if you're side by side, like Sakosi and Benfield right now, Benfield's in a really bad spot. Sakosi's sitting in a good spot. But Stella, it's hard to say when Benfield's already moving up 7 positions. 20th position, he started 13th, and he's moving on.
That's impressive. This, I think, is the first time I've heard you talk about a left rear tire being a victim of the track.
Yeah, well, what ends up happening is these guys are going around a turn, and it's actually one to slide up the track. The left rear wants to let go, putting more pressure onto the right side, but as the right side decides to quit on you a little bit, you depend more on the left side, left rear being at this track, and a lot of these tires will end up getting blown off here, so it's going to be extremely hard, and I'm hoping that most of the guys, all the Team Conti guys, I guarantee you, have come out here, felt this track, and gone, you know what? Something's up with that left rear, and they never forgot it. It's not, it's not a spring ratio or a shock setting that they forgot. Left rear was probably more important. Once you get that right side dialed in, they get to that left rear and try to figure out how to conserve that tire. Because as the race goes on, the lengthwise, and seeing how these guys race out here at the track, that's exactly what you're going to see is these long runs, especially 250 laps. I would assume somewhere probably in that 55 to 60 range is when we're going to see things, some of the kids out there start saying, kind of get stupid out there, where a lot of things are going to be sliding around. In the long distance run, that left rear is going to be, extremely key, if not only the steering from the right front. So if they take care of the right front here, Stella, getting into these turns, the left rear is going to come into play. You'll see the guys who have made that adjustment or not, and then you're going to find out the guys who are leading and lapping the rest of the field.
Okay, that sounds interesting. But then with 4 sets of tires, you're saying about lap 60, we're going to be seeing them get a little squirrely out there. 60 is our first stage. Now, with 100% fuel, unless we see a caution, we're going to see these guys stay out there all the stage.
Should, yes. Now, a little offset pitting might be a good idea. I would like to see that. If somebody were actually able to come down, probably about lap 40. There have been some talks of guys coming in on 40, taking the hit in the first stage, staying out during the stage to get the wave around, stopping again in the middle of the next stage, getting the wave around, come stage 120, and now what I've got is an extra 30 laps of fuel is what they're looking at, and I would technically only have to pit twice in the final stage rather than possibly 3 times. You saw the fuel. Yeah, I don't know if you remember the fuel stretch that we had last week. Guys missed it by about 7 or 8 laps. It was pretty difficult for some of the guys to actually come through on that track.
Ouch! One of those Jeff Gordon finishing on fumes.
There you go. Where we didn't make it. We didn't make the burnout. We hardly made it to the finish line. So they were saying Corey Hines may have been about dead out on fuel. He was having to clutch it. I knew Sisler. He was clutching it about 40 laps before we got to checkered flag. He already knew it was going to be close, so he's clutching now to see if he could save some fuel heading into the turns. A little bit here and there works out well, but that it didn't seem to pay off, as I know Sisler wanted a little more. Let's see if we can rotate up front, where Eddie Rose and I think Mike Bruno just finished out, battling along side by side. Rose in the 46. Looks like Bruno falls back in another position. That's 4 on the night, sitting 7th, and we got our first caution out. Brandon Banks is involved in this one, and really you hate to see it, as Brandon Banks is actually one of our top drivers out here.
Oh, it happens. I was just noting Corey Hines. He was one of your did not qualify all the way in the bottom, and he's sitting in 5th. Is this the same guy?
That is Corey Hines, who's moved up 14 positions here on the night. The only Ford in the top 10 is Matt Sisler. Everybody else is a Chevrolet out there, so big time. Obviously, friendly track out there, especially since this track, I believe, was built by Rusty Wallace. But we'll see. We'll see how this goes here. See, yeah, my mind does not fail me.
It's a steel trap. Wow.
Ouch.
Look at this.
Yeah, I was trying to see who that was on the hood of that car, or on the windshield. I think that may have been Hassler in the 25. Yeah. Looks like Banks got up, rotated up top. Whoop. Yeah, just a little bit of net code after that. It looked like they should have been clear, but, man, look at the 12. Matt Wheeler, not bad. That dude, that dude is just a magnet for trouble. No matter where he is, it's happening. All right, well, we'll see how Banks holds out. Hassler and Banks are down pit road. They just entered about 10 seconds down there in the block, and we'll see if they have to come back down. Now, remember what I was saying, there is a possibility of guys, offset pitting. This would be one of the guys that, unfortunately, is going to not be really their choice. They would like to be doing it maybe a separate situation. But taking a look, Jerry Culver actually started a lap down, so now we're up to our total of 23 drivers out there on the track. Looks like Banks is actually coming out of the pits here. Excellent. Okay. So right now, 32 seconds in the box, Corey Hassler, he was able to make it out in the 25, and especially with as much damage as we saw happening to both these cars, I thought they would be parked down there a lot longer.
Yeah, with pieces and parts flying everywhere. I did too.
Yeah, well, I'm taking a look here. Right now I'm looking to see if that right front, something doesn't look right. No. Making sure that wheel's not kind of pushed in there.
I thought he was missing some fender.
Yeah, something may be smushed up here in that right front. Let's see if we can find another Chevrolet out here who's really been on a tear. Let's try Corey Hines. See the wheels?
Okay.
So that's another Chevrolet here of Corey Hines. And right now, Brandon Banks' wheel looks like that. Yeah, so we're going to kind of keep an eye out there. I don't know if that front end is still jacked up. He's going to be having to figure out another way around there. Maybe a little cockpit view. Yeah, that wheel may be bent.
Now, they would let him, he would be allowed to come back out with a bent wheel?
Well, his steering is kind of cocked here. And you see as he's turning left, it was still facing right, so that's not good. Well, we'll see a straight line here in a second and see how far that wheel's over. There it is.
Oh.
Yeah, so he's heading back down pit road here to see if he can give it another go. Give his pit crew a chance to see if they can fix this thing. As unfortunately he is going to be dealing with a exorbitant amount of damage. I was actually really surprised he actually made it back out there, but not going a lap down, it was key, as he now sits 23rd, dead last here, before a couple of the guys who did not make the race, just Jason Hastings and Josh Keller out there. Wow, talking about moving around. Eric Schaefer and John Williams will be still starting here in the front row. These guys haven't moved a spot yet. Johnny Taylor's at least gotten into the top 3, so the number 3 rocking and rolling there for Team Conti. Dustin Hall and Corey Hines, that'll be our guys here in the top 5, and Hines has been on a roll. They're going to be looking to see if he can come away with another win, which brings me to our point standings. Yay! Let's take a look at it. As Corey Hines, remember I said he had 4 wins. Check that out. Everybody in yellow is locked in. Man, oh man. So Hines, Banks fortunately is locked in, but unfortunately, after a boatload of damage, he is shot back out of the pits for another 40 seconds of damage repair. And Dakota Ehrman, man, that's somebody we haven't been seeing in a long time. Right now, I'm hoping Dakota Ehrman isn't playing the I made a win, I don't have to race the rest of the season kind of move here. Right now, he's going to have Corey Hines to kind of chase down. I haven't seen Ehrman really in about 2 to 3 races. So he's going to have to take a lot of time to get back onto the track here. Pace truck getting ready to head on off here in just a moment as we are side by side. Get that Chevrolet off and try to get these other Chevys going. Sisler's Ford is the only one here in the top 10. As we get back under green, Eric Schaefer, away he goes. Outside line choice for him. He'll be dropping down on the inside of turn number 1, still in the lead, but that leaves us with Dustin Hall and Johnny Taylor to still duke it out here through turn 1. Number 3 on the inside of the 11 here. Hall been on a roll here as he's gained 4, and now he's giving a good shove. Nice shove there to John Williams. Williams now going to be able to get a little bit of a breakaway, which unfortunately gets him out of shape. Getting out of shape as well as Dustin Hall. Hall trying to hold on to it here. But man, oh man, this is great racing here so far. And this is for the 3rd spot. Right now, Johnny Taylor's kind of pitching his hat in, saying, you know, I've been started 4th, still in 4th. I want that position. So he's going to try to take a shot toward the inside, but no can do. As Team Conti right now, I am seeing John Williams, Corey Hines, and Johnny Taylor all sitting right here in the top 5. Dustin Hall is also a Team Conti driver. The only person I'm not seeing is Eric Schaefer, and he's in the lead.
Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, that's like the big show team surrounding everybody.
Yeah, trying to keep tumbling around here. Brandon Hastings is another Team Conti driver. He's back there in 14th. He'll be looking to fight his way up there with Adam Benfield, who's in 13th. So those drivers will try to clump together and see if they can work their way up to the front. But as we move back to them, look at this gaggle of cars we've got here. Sikosi losing 6 positions on the night, started 10th, and now he is in the 16th spot. 83 Machida Adam Benfield looking underneath right now the 02 of Nathan Biggert. But remember, Biggert was actually, the driver was a lot slower that Sisler got stuck behind. So Sisler seemed to move up and get around him, and Sisler has now fought himself up to 7th. And already some trouble up here with Eddie Rose. Rose looked like he had a bad turn. Wow, Rose falling back down now 7 positions, heading down to 13th.
But as far as everybody else goes, it's no harm, no foul. Everybody got around safely.
Yeah, that wasn't a good turn. I definitely don't like seeing what happened with Rose here. I don't know if some contact was made and he moved. But this is definitely a interesting slide. I do want to take a look because I believe he was riding next to Johnny Taylor here, and something happened. I don't know. Looking to see if the 46, whoa, gets into the back of Williams. 46 sliding out of control here, and that's how Rose ended up falling back there with Williams. Whoa.
Yeah, I'm amazed at the recovery from both of these gentlemen.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. So they will be able to continue racing. I don't know. It looked like Eddie Rose had a run there on Williams. Williams, I'm not saying he was in the way, but it looked like Rose just made a cut too late on that right front fender, caught him there. So Williams now from that second position, kind of second to 4th area. Right now, Williams drops down to 8th. So he's going to be sitting here battling alongside the number 87 here, Michael Strickland. Strickland trying to hold on to it. Right now, we see a lot of guys trying to see if they can find some sort of happy spot here as we're taking a look inside the cab of Michael Strickland as he's racing around this track. And definitely holding on to it here, not really under fire. Jesse Priest will be the next one looking for him here. Priest, here he is. You see Priest starting to come in right past that safety net. Only about a tenth behind him, so Priest is going to be taking a look. Right now trying to shut the door on him. There he is. There's Priest down there on the bottom. We are still almost too wide there in the back. More trouble in the backfield as guys have been shuffling around. Quick check in is Stoney Benfield. That is him on the top. Getting way loose. I don't know if something's going on. That car just isn't rotating. And once again, it seems to be another track that Stoney Benfield has been having a little bit of trouble out there with this front end dragging around. He can't seem to get the dive in. There it is again. He hits the bumps. He gets out of the groove, which causes him to lose yet another position, dropping down to 12th. So now the 0-2 of Nathan Biggert is going to fly to the inside, which has been pretty true and going for it here all night. Taking another shot, and right now it's not looking good as some of these guys have been shuffling around real bad, Stella. And if we notice, now I'm not poking at Stoney Benfield at all, but you notice as his car is trying to turn, that thing almost doesn't want to rotate.
Yeah, and it caused the 91 just a second ago to touch the wall just to check up and stay out of it.
Yeah, Brandon Hastings is going to be shooting underneath of him here. Stoney Benfield Ford may be marching back. Right now, I don't know, because you see it looks like Benfield is trying to get the car. You see the backfiring. He's off the gas, trying to get it to rotate and pull down. But that thing is just not diving down for him. I think the only way you can start working on that is adding a heavier spring to the right front, which will add weight to the left rear, and then help him try to start steering and diving into the turn, which really, unfortunately, is not working for him here tonight and is not an adjustment you can make down pit road. So he's got to figure out something else he can do, which may be like lowering the left front tire pressure to see if he can squat that tire down, use the right front to pick up the pressure and help him rotate into these turns. Because I think Stoney Benfield, with his qualifying position here tonight, at least with a top 10, he should be rolling around in the top 10 only 40 laps into this race. But something has happened over the past 8 to 10 laps. Stoney Benfield, this thing is not rotating, and he's once again at another short track, fighting this car all the way through.
Yeah, that makes for a rough night. Fighting for every turn when the turn's coming so fast. A lot of these cars are making different moves than they did before the caution. Do you think everybody was trying to make a little adjustment? Maybe made one in the wrong direction?
It may be possible. Remember, only nobody else pit other than 3 drivers. Right now I'm seeing Corey Hassler, Jerry Culver, and Brandon Banks were the only 3 that came down pit road. I don't know if any heat cycling in the tires may have changed a couple things up. We are already seeing, here we go, another Team Conti driver, Brandon Hastings. He's now moved up 10 positions into 12th, already getting ready to see if he can run down Nathan Biggert. But man, that 91, you see how that front end was drifting, so almost seems like the steering's too loose for him as the car is trying to come around. But Stella, normally the best thing you can have is a loose race car at the beginning. Fight the looseness and let the car start to tighten up toward the end, and it'll actually get a little bit faster. But man, oh man, is he still way loose. And I like to see that, seeing that the car still has some adjustment to tighten it up. It's hard to free up the car once it is getting too tight, especially through some of these turns. But man, oh man, Stella, I don't know about you. I know I get way excited about open setup leagues. To me, it just adds an entire new aspect to the game, to the racing. It's not just what iRacing has given you. It's what you built. It's what your team built. It's what your testing has gone through. And that's what you're seeing here. It's not only the driver skill that is placed out here, but what you're seeing is guys who have set their car up to the way they drive, and they are trying their best to figure out who can beat who. And it's not just driver against driver. It's driver car against driver versus another car.
Which is, if you think about it, a heck of a lot.
Yeah,
a lot more like the real deal, unless they were back doing the IROC racing in days gone by. Wow, 91 is loose. That was the only time that it was driver against driver, and all the cars were the same. nowadays, you've got the Ford. I can't stop watching. I'm sorry. And you've got your crew chief. You've got everybody's got a little tweak here, a little tweak. And that's what these teams do. Team Conti, Monster Motorsports, Full Set Racing, and they do it well.
Yeah, we'll definitely kind of keep an eye out, as you were saying, about crew chiefs. Now, I believe Nate Ottinger is going to be their crew chief out there for the Team Conti guys. Right now, remember we were talking about somebody who started dead last? He's got the lead. Right now, as we've been kind of watching some of the battling in 91, getting loose of Brandon Hastings there in the back. Corey Hines is actually taking the lead and left by a second.
I was going to say, and by almost a second is he leaving them now that he's got fresh air.
Yeah, and it's not that I don't want to put him in the light, but right now, Corey Hines, I mean, it's just, some guys are saying this is kind of the same song and dance here from the 57. He starts dead last, he won't qualify, and then comes out here and takes over the entire field. He's flossed through every single one of them and is actually pulling away and gaining time each and every lap. Hines out front. Schaefer's lost the lead. Dustin Hall from Team Conti is going to be looking to take a shot down underneath. Anybody out there who is watching this broadcast, if you guys think you got something here for the NSR Xfinity Series, definitely show up and put up, and kind of show these guys from Team Conti that you may be superior, because right now I beg to differ. Right now, Team Conti is on a roll here. I'm having trouble finding that many drivers that have not won so far here at NSR, and they just seem to be kind of mopping the floor with some of these other drivers. Now, Stella, I'm not saying that none of these guys can hold the candle to them. I mean, right now, Stoney Benfield, that was a heck of a qualifying spot here. As we're running, I believe, into a little bit of lap traffic, the 83 of Jason Crumley. Crumley getting kind of caught up there. He was hanging up top. I give it to him. He stayed solid, stayed up top, trying to stay out of the way, but man, they almost ran him over. All right, as we keep going, but, these guys are having a solid qualifying time. Sisler is still holding right now in the 7th spot. But that 4.5 seconds off pace, man, it just kind of deflates you for the remainder of the race.
Yeah, well, they've only got 8 more laps before the first stage break. So I wouldn't worry too much about that 5 seconds down.
Yeah, no, the only thing I would question, what I'm saying right now, is Brandon Banks was hoping to be able to come back from another lap down. Jason Crumley just went a lap down, which means, unfortunately, Brandon Banks will remain another lap down. So regardless of what he does, he's not going to go ahead and get his lap back unless he doesn't pit at all, which this is where that off-cycle pitting I talked about is. Now he's stopped at lap 23. Everybody will come down for tires and fuel. He'll be able to stay out a little bit longer. We've got a wreck here in the back.
We do. I saw spinning.
Yeah, I believe that was Nathan Biggert. Yep, that's him.
And everything else.
Yeah, looking to see if his car is broken here. Wow. All right, we are under caution here, lap 55. Let's take a look and see what happened to Nathan Biggert here. We've been seeing these guys getting loose a lot here lately. See if the black car next to him, comes down and hooks him.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't think Biggert ever saw that happen. He never even saw it coming. And that's Keith Fonseca here.
Yeah, and Bass Pro Shop started moving before it even happened. The net code started sucking him in.
Yeah, which is really unfortunate.
Absolutely.
So, Stella, we have got guys coming down pit road now. Here they come.
Say that's
and looking to see if they can looking to see if they can work their way on down here. I don't blame them. They might want to hurry up.
Now, does this league count this as their stage caution?
That's a good question. We'll have to kind of see back and forth as we go. Seeing that we are within 5, it might be a possibility. We'll see. We'll see if anything is happening though as these guys are making their pit stops. What this ends up meaning, is this the end of the stage? As these guys are trying to throw on the tires and get out quick. Wow, Corey Hines just barely beating Eric Schaefer.
Yeah. That's running over your gas man's toes.
Yeah, he definitely got close on that one. Definitely want to see if we can take a peek out there and see if there's anything going on. Right now, it looks like, I believe, yes, this is going to be considered the caution for stage 1.
Okay.
All right, yep. We are getting it from our race control out there. That is stage 1. So now, offset pitting once again. This is going to be another kind of a toss-up here. I'm interested to see Brandon Banks. Yes, he is coming down pit. Definitely probably trying to fix this car up. If what he could probably use about another 3 more cautions, and then that way he can have a chance. I love that guy's race flag right there. I do like that. How it's got that arrow down. It's not a number. Yeah. He's able to got that arrow down, so when he pulls up, he'll see the arrow down, and definitely is the only one who's got that. I like that. That's a good idea. Definitely a good idea. Alrighty. Anybody out there that's looking to sponsor this league, sponsor a race, hell, even sponsor a flag, you can do it. Definitely get a hold of the NSR Xfinity Series. Go ahead and get a shout out here. You'll be able to get onto a commercial as well if you got some extra media out there. We can go ahead and get it up here on the broadcast, see if we can do it. Obviously, you see Stony Benfield has done it, as the NC811 is the sponsor here of this league. Really appreciate them signing on for this year. Definitely always looking for as much help as they can get, especially with as much as these guys practice and need time to buy out some time out here on the track for that practice. Stella, can you tell me a little bit about the NC811? I know digging is one thing, but digging with safety is another.
Digging with safety is everything. And so since 1978, NC811 has provided a fast and easy communication link with your local utility providers. All you have to do, give them the information about your excavation. They send the information to the utilities. Bang, the utilities send out locators to mark your public underground lines. And they do it all for free. So contact 811 or 1-800-632-4949. And make sure you do it 3 working days before you plan on digging, so that they have time to get all that activity done.
All right. That's definitely a good thing to look into. They definitely want to dig with care. Definitely check and see what you've got going on. Sorry. So, speaking of going on, Corey Hines and Eric Schaefer, those will be our guys 1 and 2. Johnny Taylor, Mike Bruno will be starting side by side for row number 2. And that's going to move us on to Dustin Hall and John Williams. Williams moving up at least a couple positions there after that slight contact that was out there, definitely between him and Eddie Rose, the 46 Chevrolet. Eddie Rose has fought himself up back to 12th, so it's going to be a good run here. As we can see, the drivers getting lined up as that Chevrolet is going ahead and ducking on off here as we are about to get back under green. Corey Hines taking us back to a restart here at the end of stage 1 to get this one going again at the Iowa 250. Now, this track definitely being that 7/8 of a mile as you were talking about before is definitely tough. There's no room for errors. You can see some guys have been making some decisions that are not working out well. Guys are moving back and forth trying to see if they can find out if there's another grouping out there or some guys that they can run with, and it just doesn't seem to be that way, as it seems Team Conti has blocked out just about every driver from being able to have the run that they want. Adjustments were made down pit road for some of these guys, which is why some of them have reached up and touched about that 15-second mark down pit road. So we should definitely see a couple guys either more loose, a lot tighter, or they're going to be fighting their way trying to get back onto the track and remain competitive, as the other guys who are already faster, they've made their adjustments to try to see if they can be even faster than that. But Corey Hines nailing down the fastest time here of the night with a 23:32 last lap. That's 0.2 faster than anybody else here on the field, which is a huge run here. Corey Hines leaving this field right now. This is huge. Already starting the 3rd lap under green. He is 3/4 of a second ahead and is starting to pull away. Right now, this is mind-blowing right now, how fast Corey Hines is going out there on the field. That's why we're kind of hanging up here toward the broadcast booth. As you notice, look at the distance he is putting on the guys in the back. Schaefer starting to watch him turn into a Johnny Taylor is going to be looking to try to run him down, and I'm wondering what Nate Ottinger out there has done and talked to these guys about adjustments out there on the track to make his Team Conti guys faster.
I don't know, but he's got the golden touch tonight. I was watching my little pink Fanta car out there. He was making some good runs.
You must be talking about Michael Strickland. Strickland is now down to, at least back up to 7th. Unfortunately, that's 2 down on the night. Sisler, he was in 7th before the pit road. He has dropped down to 8th, but really the key is not going down, touching that paint. So, Stella, it just seems like this track is full of pitfalls here. These guys just can't seem to go wrong. You don't want to get down below the line. You don't want to ride too high. You don't want to ride too low out of 4. As you see, Sisler does it right there. So his Celsius number 66 Ford gets way loose here, heading out of 4, and it kicks him off to the side. But Sisler wrangles that car back in, runs him back down, and looking to see if he can get Michael Strickland back behind him. But he is going to be in the chase. We are riding along with Sisler, looking forward at that Phantom machine, trying to see if he can find what he needs to do. But he has got to rotate up. And the key is Sisler, if he's able to rotate up, it'll continue the draft with the 87, and then you'll be able to attack him here between 1 and 2.
Yeah, I don't know how much attacking is going on, how much defense is going on, but these guys are riding tight.
Yeah, speaking of riding tight right now, we'll go back and check on Stoney Benfield, who's right now hanging out in 16th in just a moment. A couple of guys are trying to see if they can move around and find different areas if they're able to make any kind of a move here. Stoney Benfield, there he is. 75 Ford collecting a couple of other Fords. Jerry Culver and Justin Cope are in front of him. Remember, Culver, I believe, is the driver who actually started a lap down to start this race, is the number 13 who is hanging out in front of him. So this is right now, the Fords are clumping together and hopefully are going to be able to make a shot back. Adam Benfield right now for Team Conti is moving on up front with Brandon Hastings. These are the guys sitting in 11th and 12th. Now, Mark Sikosi, not too bad here by the number 8. He had actually dropped down a boatload of positions there for just a moment. Sikosi's actually fought himself back into the top 10. So not too bad, but unfortunately, once again, 10 laps after we started this one, Sikosi's sitting about 4.2 seconds off pace, and that's not saying anything because the rest of the field is feeling just the same pain here as they are trying their best to figure out how to run them down. 2 drivers that are laps down are Keith Fonseca and Brandon Banks. It looks like Nathan Biggert, after the tumble up in the 0-2, was able to kick it on back. Corey Hassler that got in trouble with Brandon Banks. He is still out there sitting 20th, so right now he's still in good shape. So the 2 guys most damaged ended up with the most falling behind the most here, as we are waiting to see if any driver's going to have anything for Corey Hines, and they may have to wait till the next stage, Stella, to see if they can come up with a miracle here to figure out how to run that 57 down.
It's looking like it. From what I can see, we are covering half of the track from first to last. I mean, mind you, like you say, it's a mile track, but that's a pretty long string for 23 cars.
Yeah, not bad. I like your math. That worked out really well. All right, Johnny Taylor. Johnny Taylor here is the only one who's getting at least semi-close. He is holding them into within 1.2 seconds, but as I've even seen out there in the chat before, Corey Hines likes getting out to that good stretch, really around that 1.5 to about a 2.5, 3 second area, and then coasting. He definitely then takes care of his tires, gets out front, has the fresh air, and is able to get away from the field. That way he can race his race. But, man, that 7,900i rating is looking really good right now for Corey Hines, as he is staying out front. And, man, oh, man, if there's something you want to do, you might want to hang around these guys. Every single one of them is not nothing to kind of snob your nose at or turn your nose up at. These guys are the real deal here. So this is a huge league. Really, a lot of big names come out here and race with the NSR Xfinity Series. And I would love to see a lot of new faces to come on and give these guys a run. Definitely, I like to see Dakota Ehrman be able to bounce back here. I haven't seen these guys. Grijalva, I haven't seen him in a little while. So hopefully we see some of these guys bounce back. Alex Tessie, he hasn't been back here in a while. So hopefully, I would love to see some of these guys. I know we got a bunch of guys. Brady Schreckenghost, I believe he was back with the with the old broadcast team before I believe Simtrax signed on with the NSR Xfinity Series to go ahead and rock this end of the season. But this is going to kind of trip it up a little bit. I really like what I'm seeing here from the NSR Xfinity Series. Trying a lot of different things, moving on with a bunch of different angles here at the track and what we're doing. But Stella, so far so good. I mean, any cautions we're seeing out here, kind of understandable. No, nothing blatant. Nothing bad, and both the cautions we've seen have actually been a little bit of net code problem.
That's kind of where I was fixing to call it too, because I'm sorry, there's no reason the guy low side should start to turn before the guy on the high side comes down on him. But yeah, it happens. What do they call it? A racing incident?
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, we are looking at Johnny Taylor putting Brandon Banks back now. Unfortunately, that does kick him down to 2 laps down, and unfortunately, he's going to have to hope for a miracle to come back from this one. Hopefully, he's doing his sponsors proud by keeping that car back out on the track. Keith Fonseca still a lap down as well. Fonseca will probably be the next one on the chopping block here, as he is trying desperately to keep out in front before Corey Hines runs him down. If I'm not mistaken, that is probably him right behind him. Yeah. That's rather unfortunate. He's trying to stay out. And that, man, oh man, that is a hard run here. But this is Corey Hines here, as he is definitely rolling through this field here. Definitely feeling pretty solid. We do kind of have a couple small tracks here: Worldwide Technology Center, or Gateway, where we just were for the Gateway 250, and now the Iowa 250 here tonight. So, interesting enough, as these two tracks kind of go back-to-back short tracks, we're now going to go to, in the next couple of weeks, really some more of the super speedway styles of reaching up around that 2-mile mark. Next week will actually be at Michigan, and then the week after that will be at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Now, I don't know about you guys, but Indy definitely is a good throwback, and they'll be running the Brickyard 250 there, so that should be a great race. 4 corners for those guys, and I got to admit, last Xfinity race I ran at Indianapolis, I was put into the wall there in turn 1, which was rather unfortunate. And Stella, I believe that may have been the last time I got behind the wheel.
In turn 1 or in lap 1?
Well, it was in turn 1, but it was probably about lap 7 after the third caution came out. It was unfortunately pretty kind of ridiculous of how it went. Official races, I swear, there's nothing you can do about it, but unfortunately you've got leagues like the NSR Xfinity Series where these guys are able to come out here. You've got some sort of backing, you've got some sort of structure here, and it's not a free-for-all. And then you get to come out here and race your race, do your thing. But definitely I would say leagues like this, they put you in your place. You think you're bad, and you're about to find out. As these guys, the ones that have spent that time setting up, I believe you remember back with the Doghouse Racing League, Jonathan Jennings, that was the guy to beat. He spent countless hours getting that car squared away, but he would beat guys, 4 to 5 seconds during the races, and that's just, you can see the time pays off. So, all right, let's get back here. As we're watching Eddie Rose here about to get under fire, Mark Sikosi dropping down to 11th here, inside line for him. Eddie Rose stays to the outside. Looks like Brandon Hastings is going to stay right behind him. Now, Hastings has gained 10, looking for that 11th spot, as he will be moving up 11. Yes, he's got it. Sikosi drops down now to 12th. That's 2 there on the past couple of laps. He's been holding on to 10th for dear life. Jesse Priest is going to be the next one to look for it, as now Sikosi dropping back.
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
Nice recovery.
Yeah, right now, remember Brandon Hastings was the 91, the loose car we saw out there sliding around. Looks like his car's kind of squared up a little bit and actually running like it's supposed to. Sikosi, he's got a short run car. That thing is super fast at the beginning, and now we're starting to see Sikosi drop off a little bit. So Sikosi drops down to 13th as Priest, and once again, the 46 of Eddie Rose caught up in a wreck here. Man, good job by Eddie Rose not going back down and giving him a second hit.
Yeah, but I think he blew his engine.
Yeah, there's a blown engine, and I believe, no, there are no toe links. Right now, that is a tie rod broken here on the Xfinity machine that we unfortunately see here. Let me see if we can get a check. See that? Right front.
Oh.
Yep, so that is a tie rod end broken. So he will be down and out. Eddie Rose, appreciate him showing up for tonight, but that is not going to be his race here. Let's take a look at what happened, as this is kind of an ugly run coming to the line. Jesse Priest on the inside. Ooh, Sakosi.
Yes.
Yeah, it looked like Sakosi hooked him here, and now the 46 has been taken out.
They sacked by Sakosi.
Sacked. All right, yeah, Eddie Rose gets blown away here. All right, any takers on pit road, we will have to see. I don't think anybody will. But the 46 machine probably making his final pit stop here of the night. I don't think he'll be returning. Nobody coming down pit road yet.
But we do have a wave around.
Yes, we do. We should have a wave around. I believe that it's not Fonseca that's a lap down. I believe it's Thomas Stanley. Yes. Can't miss that bright lime green car. All right.
We do have a couple, I think, that have hit the pits.
Yes, Sakosi, Biggert, Hassler coming back down. Eddie Rose, of course, came down. Keith Fonseca, he is down. And Brandon Banks, once again, still down pit road here. Man, this will be the 5th time he's come into that box. So, man, oh, man, is Brandon Banks not getting a good one here. But fortunately, he has won one and locked himself into the playoffs. So, fortunately, Brandon Banks in the 54 Chevrolet will be able to continue his run for the playoffs. Just, man, and when it rains, it pours. Brandon Banks is having an extremely hard time completing races. I mean, he just kind of keeps getting blown to bits here and trying to get back out there. I mean, look at that suspension. You can see already. See how high that front end is off the ground? Man, he's got a problem.
He's got several problems, I think, going on there. That's pretty rough. Now, my curiosity, I noticed looking at the playoff standings, you had 3 in yellow, which are locked in due to a win. You have 4 in red. Are they in jeopardy of a cut at some point here?
Yes. These are the guys that are not going to make it. Top 12 make it to the playoffs.
Okay, but when does that cutoff happen?
Cutoff should happen starting at the end of Atlanta. So we've got 3 races left after this one. Michigan, Indianapolis, and Atlanta Motor Speedway. Then we make the cut. They have 1 race at Nashville, and then we cut the last 4. We go to Chicagoland, and we cut 4 more, and we send the last 4 guys. The rest will join, but the last 4 guys head to Rockingham.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're getting down to the wire.
Yeah, that we are. So no time to lose here. As they're going to be rocking around. I don't know if how this is going to go, as this one is kind of coming really to a point of Corey Hines going all the way. Now, Stella, we broadcast a few weeks together. Robert Rader over there with the Racing Revolution League. You know, now he, in one season, ended up winning 7, 8 races at one time. The following season, he won maybe 5. And he is a defending champion. Season 1, Season 2, and Season 3, he was in jeopardy. He was in big trouble. He had some terrible races. He went in there on fire, and somebody beat him. You know what I mean? Jeremy Burns was actually the driver that was actually picked the favorite to win. And the defending champ of Robert Rader had to come back and win it, and actually won it at Phoenix over top of Jeremy Burns. I think he only beat him by about 2 to 3/10 of a second. So Burns missed the championship by 3/10 of a second. I'm not saying Corey Hines has this in the bag, but he will be public enemy number 1. Everybody's going to be looking about that 57 Chevrolet and putting that guy in the rearview mirror come when, you know, if he can make it all the way to
playoffs.
Well, he's guaranteed for the playoffs, but if he can guarantee himself into the championship 4, he can be eliminated in Nashville by wrecking out, and that's it. He's done. So all these wins, yes, this is great. He will be able to stay probably in via points, seeing these 25 points ahead. So he could probably have a bad race during these runs, because then it will come down to points. But he's going to have his work cut out for him here, as we get ready for the 3rd caution ending here. Next stage will be at 120. Corey Hines is going to be looking for that shot here as we get back underway. Right now I'm showing everybody 15th on back are our drivers who pit. Everybody else is, but last time they were down pit was lap 55. Let's see how Schaefer's doing. Is right now Eric Schaefer, our pole sitter, now down to 4th. He's watching some trouble happening behind him, as I believe that is Brandon Hastings all the way there on the outside. Full send, baby. Right now, Sisler's got a mirror full of him, not just the rear view, but now the left side, as Brandon Hastings drops from all the way at the top down to the bottom to follow the 19 of Mike Bruno. So Hastings taking this time to attack, does not want to waste any time here, as he is now fought up for 8th, aiming for 7th, and it looks like Adam Benfield may have been left in the dust, but the 83 has got the line here, outside line, as he holds on. Benfield passing Hastings here for just a moment. Hastings only has a fender on him as they head into turn 1.
Yeah, they are mixing it up. It's like they feel like they're in the last laps. Careful out there, guys. There's a whole lot more race to go.
Yeah, well, not too many laps, as these laps kind of churn away in less than 30 seconds a lap. Benfield already making a gutsy shot here to the inside. Amazing move here. He's already up 13 on the night, looking for another, seeing if he can get Benfield. Right front fender to his quarter panel there. Ooh, nope. That Camaro ain't going to make it, so now he's going to have to see if he can fire on through. Sisler's forward, trying to chase him back down, but no can do. But because we already have Schaefer up front, getting into the side here of John Williams. Williams looks like he came up the track, already bumped Eric Schaefer, and now Schaefer getting knocked out of shape, and that's going to allow Benfield to get underneath and try to attack yet again. Hastings, who was super fast there for just a moment, is falling down to 9th and having to reset up. Right now, Hastings not getting the help down pit road that I think he is needing. Right now, super fast driver just can't seem to get a hold of that race car. He's tightened it up a little bit, but man, oh man, he's just unable to run these guys down. But the driver on the move is Adam Benfield, as he is now 5th, running down John Williams. 19 machine of Mike Bruno trying to take another look. Sisler sitting right behind him as Eric Schaefer, who qualified on the pole, has now fallen down to 7th. So he is in trouble as Schaefer is wheeling on back. He's got to figure out what adjustment he needs to make. But Stella, we are looking at about 22 laps before these guys come down for a scheduled stage caution.
We do, and in the meantime, Corey Hines has put his next leading competitor 0.4 back. That was a heck of a start, a jump that he got off the green, and he's making the best of it.
Yeah, looking at Jerry Culver here, 13 Ford back in 13th, as he sees this giant sea of cars in front of him here, definitely as they spread them apart during the turns, but everybody lines back up during the straightaways. Culver kind of sitting back watching this happen, seeing if he can find any kind of an angle where there's a possibility of, ooh, man, feels like he drifts a little bit there. I don't know, you can kind of visually see kind of how that car started kind of wiggling out from underneath of him here, so I don't know if the 13, he's going to be dealing with a little bit of traction problems as they keep fighting on through. Culver losing it to Corey Hassler. Hassler got caught up in one of the cautions earlier here, back there with Brandon Banks back on lap 20. Right now, Hassler has fought back up to 13th. Let's see if we can find Adam Benfield. Right now, he has conquered that 5th spot. He's going to be chasing down John Williams next. He's got a little ways to go before he finds him, though. Right now, about half a second behind. Benfield still on a roll. Bruno sitting 7th. Sisler, oh yeah, there we go. There's Sisler. Right now, he's trying to hold on to it now. He's got Brandon Hastings underneath of him. The 87 machine of Michael Strickland following right behind him. So right now, good move here by Sisler to hang up toward the top. I like that second lane. It seems to be working out best for 95% of these drivers. But can they hold on as that 91 of Brandon Hastings still kind of, man, he's just not getting out of there. 91, yeah, going up and giving him a nudge.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think 87 panicked here.
Strickland.
Yeah. 87 panics. Strickland goes ahead and bumps into Jesse Priest. Priest holds on to it, though, and he's going to be trying to battle back and run down this 87 machine. So Jesse Priest, not bad. He seems to be holding on to it there, but, man, he's got to be nervous as that 87 is looking to fold him up here.
Yeah, like, is he going to do it again? I'd look for a nice straightaway, I think, before I'd try to pass him.
Yeah, some people would be a little gun shy of diving back in there and trying again. If that were the case, I don't think you'd have a career here as a racer. Right now, only about 16 laps left to go before we end up at our stage break. We are looking at Jesse Priest trying to see if he can pass Michael Strickland to get into the top 10 for the final stage. That will definitely set him up very, very well. Seeing that, unfortunately, he is down 5 positions already for Strickland. He did have top 5, but Priest is yet to get into the top 10. Priest, bad turn. Wow. Yeah, right now he is snapping all over the track. He's got to hold on to it here. We'll try to zoom out just a little bit there with our cameraman. Yeah, looking good. So now we can see a little bit more of what's going on. Thomas Stanley, you see him back in that neon Toyota we talked about. And really the only Toyota out here on the track. Man, interesting to see that. Everybody's Ford and Chevy, but Thomas Stanley, the only Toyota out here racing in the NSR league.
I noticed that there always seem to be in the minority of cars. Is there a particular league that where the Toyotas run away to hide, or excuse me, to race?
No, I would just say it's preference. It's preference. I prefer racing Toyotas, but everybody swears up and down that the Chevrolets have it out that no matter what track we're at. Fords mostly hold the super speedways, just from the design of the nose.
Yeah, that I can see for the pushing.
Yeah. So that's what you're going to see, kind of tilting back and forth. But we'll definitely see if that holds true. Right now, that is Thomas Stanley, who's down now to 14th as Justin Cope flies on past him, and John Williams only ahead by half a second here in front of Adam Benfield, but Benfield has caught him. Here he comes. Benfield on the outside taking a look, but he's running into some lap traffic, so Benfield not going to have a chance. Benfield, ooh, yeah. He runs up there on Brandon Banks. Banks definitely is down 3 laps here so far. Jason Crumley and Keith on second. Also down about a handful of laps here. That's not looking good. So these Crumley, I believe, is down 2. Fonseca is down 1. So right now the 61 machine trying to hang out there. But I love seeing this. Now you've got lap traffic here. Hines only ahead by about 0.8 of a second over top of Johnny Taylor. And Taylor's starting to run him down here a little bit, and seeming to shave off a little more time each and every lap, as Hines might be having some trouble. I don't know if something happened here, but Hines has been actually slowing down for the past few laps.
Well, I hadn't seen him get over, say, 0.8, 0.85 out in front, but Taylor's doing something to cut into that on a couple of those turns. Is it him doing better on turn 1 and 2?
Per the time, they are just about dead even. Turn 1 and 2, 12:16, 12:18. Turn 3 and 4, 12:27, 12:26. I mean, they are almost identical times. So the last lap time actually were identical. They were, I believe it was a 24:44. Yeah, and then Dustin Hall, I believe, is also in that mix. These guys are also doing it, but shows you how close these builds are for Team Conti.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Schaefer's running 24. Yeah. It's impressive. I like the setups. They've got it pretty wired, and we got 6 laps to go before our stage caution.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's rotate back here a little bit to see how Sisler is holding up to Brandon Hastings' onslaught. Right now, Sisler is still holding on to 8th. Sisler trying to see if he can stay out in front of Hastings. Looks like Michael Strickland has fallen, sitting down here in 10th still. And unfortunately, that is not going to get any better, as I believe the 25 of Corey Hassler is going to be the one trying to get him about 0.3 of a second behind him there. And everything kind of settling down a little bit here, Stellas. We only got about 5 laps left before we get this one back under yellow for everybody to come down, fuel up, and go, and then it's all out until the end.
Yeah, that's true. And what's that give us? Still 130 laps.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've stopped them by every 60 here so far.
That's going to be a green flag caution if we're not, if we're careful.
You mean a green flag pit stop?
Geez,
yeah, I got you. Trust me, there's sometimes I say things, and it meant something else, but the wrong word came out, so we'll continue on through here. Looking to see if
Oh.
Sisler can hold him off here. Boy, Team Conti. Yeah, but you can see even when Sisler's down there on the bottom, if you look at Hastings, that car is actually turning right as he's heading left. So he was kind of drifting around that turn. Right now, Hastings got a heck of a turn on that last run. Let's see if we can see if Hastings is not taking another shot at it here. Man, look at this. Look at this camera work. My God. This is fantastic right now looking back at...
One heck of a producer you got out there.
Yeah, looking back at Brandon Hastings here as they're kind of sliding on through. No spot that Hastings can go that we won't see him. This is definitely his chance. He's got 2 laps to figure it out here. They are going to complete lap 120 before we head under caution here. Keep this out front now. I got to admit, Johnny Taylor still once again holding him to that 7/10 of a lead. So this is going to be a big decision here at this next pit stop of what Taylor decides to do. Taylor gets, had a bad turn there. Lost 0.3 of a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like he ran into some lap traffic.
Yeah, that hurts.
Yeah, actually, it may have gotten worse. Right now, that is actually Dustin Hall is catching up to him here. So Corey Hines is going to take us away to stage number 2. Johnny Taylor second. Dustin Hall ended up third. They're going to wait for Michael Strickland to get through. The top 10 drivers have made it, and Sisler was able to hold up Brandon Hastings. Woo, man.
Warming up yet?
Yeah, so far so good. Seemed like everything's kind of coming to a head. I'm interested to see what they can do to kind of offset what these guys can do to make that shift to get in another area, to see how they can get any faster and what adjustment can be made. Some of them, when you got a suspension adjustment, such as the springs or the shocks or anything like that, that you're married to that setup. You're married to the car and how that car is handling. Now, your tire pressure, your wedge adjustments, which can help a little bit with offset. Those are something you can move around a little bit, but not a whole lot. I would question how many of these guys have really been concentrating on brake bias, saying that how heavy it may need to be in the front brake bias early in the run and then rotate to the rear brake bias and figure out how that does later on. Alrighty. Well, Stella, I would say now would probably be a good time. We're going to cut to commercial, and we'll be right back from after we hear from our sponsors.
Okay.
What a nice day
When
to
do you
install
plan
my
on
new
putting in that new
mailbox.
fence we've been
Hi
talking
there,
about
friend.
since last
I'm
summer?
Dig Safely Man.
I guess I
My
could
job is to
start
ensure
tomorrow.
you call 811 before you dig.
Why do I need to do that?
Protect the ones you love and protect your buried utilities by contacting 811 before you dig, either by phone, the web, or the NC 811 app. Know what's below before you dig. Visit nc811.org to learn more.
What a nice day to install my new mailbox.
Hi there, friend. I'm Dig Safely Man. My job is to ensure you call 811 before you dig.
Why do I need to do that?
Vital utilities like natural gas and electric run just beneath the Earth's surface. Damaging them can cause service interruption, environmental hazards, or personal injury.
I thought only contractors had to call before they dig, so homeowners do too.
Call 3 business days before you dig unless you have X-ray vision. Visit nc811.org to learn more.
This tree is going to look great here.
Did you call 811 to protect your underground utilities?
I can't wait to see these roses come up.
Dig, dig, dig! Wait, we forgot to call 811.
Before you dig, make sure you can. Call 811 to know what's below. It's up to all of us to protect the ones we love.
Alrighty, everybody, we are back live here as we get back under green. 127 is when we're going to start as Corey Hines and Johnny Taylor, Dustin Hall, John Williams, Eric Schaefer, and Adam Benfield sitting here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Benfield trying to hold on to it. Here's the 4 of Eric Schaefer right on his outside door, trying to see if he can hold on to it there. Definitely many different angles that they can take a look. Sisler under fire here by Mike Bruno, trying to get that 7th spot back. But we've already got trouble out there on the track. Stella, talk to me a little bit about it out there.
Yeah, I'm just watching 25 have an accident coming down. I don't know if he was getting a bounce of wind off the wall or something. But, yeah, had me.
Yeah, fresh tires and fuel for all these drivers is definitely, you're going to see how they set in. They are not ready, as you can see already. Somebody dog wagging it back there of Matthew Wheeler. Wheeler in the number 12 Chevrolet. Haven't talked much about him tonight, but he is still fighting and holding on to that car, trying to battle at least back where he started. He's hanging out in 14, trying to get moving back up in the forward direction. Brandon Hastings in the 91, he's having even more trouble out there as he's definitely trying to floss on through. Remember, Brandon Hastings was up there fighting along with Matt Sisler and is now back down here in 11th. So definitely a long amount of time, but not in the pit box. 14.9 in the box. So right now, Brandon Hastings not having a good pit lane run, as it cost him almost another second to get down, up and down the track in pit road. So I don't know if he missed the box or something, but it definitely cost him.
I'm figuring missed the box or had got a black flag at an earlier time and was making really sure that he wasn't going to do it again.
Keep it on going here as we see a couple of guys sitting there fighting out, kind of duking it out here. Sikosi has actually joined down in pit road 5 times tonight, maybe to fix a little more of that damage there on the number 8 Chevrolet as he's trying to see if he can bounce back. Right now, I believe it is showing Jesse Priest is taking it back to the garage as well as Eddie Rhodes. So both the 0 and the 46 Chevrolets have been down and out, but Brandon Banks continuing to battle on here. Banks now moves up to 21st with those 2 guys taking it down to the garage. So that's why you keep racing here. So Banks picking up 2 more positions as it continues on this run. All right, moving on through as we're waiting to see if anybody else has got anything for us. I do want to check in on Adam Benfield, who's really been under fire here lately, from the 59 of Justin Cope. Now, Justin Cope, this dude has been wrecking out the past few races. This guy probably makes it about a quarter of the race, half the race. This guy is up here making it happen. 8th place up 15 positions. This is really a great run here for Cope, as Cope is now rocking out there with the Monster Motorsports team of Mark Sikosi and Stoney Benfield. These guys are finally getting somebody out there who can kind of rile them up, get them going again, and I think Stoney might have gotten that car to rotate just a little bit better, and I think that's why he's doing a lot better than he was earlier. So Kip Cook out there rooting him on as well, as he's now hanging out in 11th. But hungry Jerry Culver and Brandon Hastings are sitting behind Stoney, and now he's got to figure out if he's got the car to stay in front of him or if he's got to play a little defense here for a few laps.
Yeah, the defense right now is the wall. It's jumping out and biting these guys something fierce. Whether they're trying to turn Iowa into Darlington, I don't know.
Yeah, we already see a little bit of damage there on the side of Jerry Culver, that right side. Now remember, this league does take into account the amount of incident points people obtain. So you've got to be a clean driver. I mean, they understand if you get in a wreck or you go off track or something, probably like Texas or something, you bite the edge off. Or if you're at Charlotte, you can chew off the edge of the landscape and it gives you a 1X. But they want you to definitely try to reduce that. But they definitely expect a lot of clean racing out here. Stoney Benfield trying to hold on. As right now, I believe Wheeler we saw getting way loose in the number 12. He was the one dog wagging. He made contact with Brandon Hastings. Hastings now has dropped back because of a bad run through a couple of turns. So now Hastings is falling off. And now Wheeler is taking a shot underneath here. I don't know if how well those tires are going to hang out, trying to hold on that tight onto the bottom. Dustin Hall has gotten out front and only 6/10 behind Corey Hines, and Johnny Taylor is a second off of that.
Yeah, I'm watching Wheeler. That he is wheeling it around the track, but he's not picking up places. I keep watching, and he's forward, backward, seesawing, but he always keeps finding his way back to the high line.
Yeah, right now is this kind of shuffling on around. I believe that is, yes, as the 54 lap down car, Brandon Banks, highest side, so that means Benfield's going to saw underneath of him. Good timing there as that gets everybody pinched behind him. I'd almost say he set that one up a little bit. Hastings having to slide to the top, unfortunately, trying to see if they can fly on through. Sikosi is the one who had to scrape the edge of the wall to get around him. As right now, I believe it was Brandon Banks that was just trying to stay in one line, but definitely not a good line. It's moving on through. Wheeler trying to see if he can hold on to it. Man, there's just a lot of things happening here in the middle of the field. Guys shuffling around a little bit here, and this is a lot of what we saw last race. Everybody really that 1 through 6 area spread apart, not really racing each other, keeping one line. But man, back here in this 9th through 16th area, these guys are trying to kill each other for just one more spot.
Hey, that's racing. I mean, you need that one spot. If you don't care if you're second or third, or if you don't care if you're 12th or 13th, you know, you're gonna lose, because you've got to have that mindset of next space, keep moving forward.
Yeah, right now, moving forward, seems to be Brandon Hastings finally coming back. Hastings will look to be chasing down Matthew Wheeler for the little nudge he received earlier. Bigger sliding underneath Stoney Benfield. And Stoney trying to see if he can hold on to this one. Culver will be next, but that's going to be followed by Mark Sikosi. Sikosi now underneath the 13 here. And Jerry Culver, ooh, yeah. Gets folded up just a little bit. So remember, we were taking a look at the 13 who has dealt with a lot of damage out there. And I don't know if, I'm wondering if Mark Sikosi is down and out. Right now I'm showing Sikosi has been taken back to the garage. And I'm hoping that's not the incident limit we were talking about.
Ooh, my goodness.
Yeah, went to the top and gave him a nudge. Sikosi has a dropout here. Oh, man. All right, well, we'll definitely keep you guys updated what's going on out there on the track and see, you know, kind of what all came about.
My goodness. I mean, so it happens right then. It's not like you get, you know, your wrist smacked when you get finished with the race. It's like right then?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
But there should not be an incident limit here. I believe I remember checking into it. There is no incident limit here at the track. That will actually be punishable after that. I don't know if he had a packet loss, which Sinai Racing kind of can't load any more files. And he may have had a drop-off here, so I don't know if Mark Sikosi will be returning here for the race, which unfortunately this is not good. I don't know if maybe even iRacing on his end, if he lost internet back at the house. So we'll keep an eye out there and see if anything happens, if Sikosi is able to return. But this just goes to show you why Brandon Banks is still out there racing. This will give him another position gain to moving him up to 20th as soon as he can get around, I believe, one more time here. That'll move Banks. I believe he's down a boatload of laps here. Right now, I think about 5. And then he'll be looking to pass Sikosi here through the rest of this field. There he goes. Just passed him right now. So that moves Banks to 20th.
Yep, Sikosi is listed as in the garage for a while there. He was still registering a time, but I'll be darned.
Yeah, I'm in the hunt trying to figure out if we can narrow down exactly what happened. Trying to figure out, 100% what caused him to lose any sort of issues here at the track. I hate to see this happening to him, but Sikosi will definitely have to boomerang back next race.
Maybe he'll come up on the chat and let us know.
Yeah, maybe. Might be an option. Right now I'm kind of showing he may be having some trouble out there. I don't know if he's got an internet issue. We'll keep all Sikosi fans apprised out there and kind of keep them going. Stella, we are looking at 100 laps here before the end here of the Iowa 250. Iowa definitely a difficult track, as we've seen for some drivers, especially Adam Benfield. who's now 8th, trying to see if he can run down Eric Schaefer. Schaefer is on top of the chart here, but is unfortunately fallen all the way back down to 7th, still respectable with a top 10 finish. Not everybody can start first and end first, and right now Corey Hines is out in front by almost a second on top of Dustin Hall. Hall definitely trying to run him down, and Johnny Taylor not having as much luck as he had in the second stint out there as he was trying to run them down, and it's just not happening this time. I don't know if he made an adjustment that's actually hurting him, or if Corey Hines just made an adjustment that made it that much better.
Oh no! Yeah, it is quite the game there of can it get better, or do you just push it over the hump and now you're in trouble?
Yeah. Enfield has now overcome Eric Schaefer. That does move us back to Strickland. Looking to see if Strickland has anything for him. Half a second off. And now everybody's kind of nice and spread apart out here. No one's really having any trouble trying to run each other down, give each other an option, and see if they can fly on through. I'm going to take a peek. I don't know if Brandon Banks has taken it back to the garage. I see him hitting pit road here, and I believe our guy, yes, Brandon Banks has taken it back to the garage, and Sikosi has returned.
I'll be darned.
Yes, he lost connection, but was actually able to return back to the track.
8 laps down, that's painful.
Oh, yeah, talk about absolutely destructive.
He's here. This is good, though. This is good.
Yeah, unfortunately, Brandon Banks, I don't think he's going to be able to get enough of those laps back. I think he might just go ahead and take it back to the garage as he made it over halfway through this race before turning it in. So really give it to Brandon Banks out there for the 54 Chevrolet. Really kicking it there and making it work. So we'll see if Brandon Banks, who knows, maybe he'll return too. Oh, man.
Out of curiosity, number 75, Benfield?
Yes.
The back of his car, is it his paint job, or has somebody attempted to rearrange it?
Yeah, somebody's nailed him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I saw it earlier, and I've been meaning to ask you, and oh, okay. No, the drum would have to fly back. Oh, yeah. All right. I just kind of...
Yeah, let me see if I can get that thing activated.
Gee whiz.
Yeah, he's kind of been mugged.
Just a bit. I think they took his wallet and his chains. Jeez.
Yeah, now I don't know if somebody had hit him. I didn't see any damage to the right front, so I don't know if this was a crude down pit road or if somebody was trying to pass him and made contact here with Stoney. But he is fighting a lot of damage there on the rear, and especially these Xfinity cars, they don't tolerate any damage accrued. These cars have got to be pretty much on the straight and narrow to stay fast. Any kind of dent, any kind of bend in the hood, it's going to start slowing you down. There's no way around it.
Well, with as close as these run to the edge of the track, I mean, look at that front spoiler. It's, I mean, you hit a pebble, and you're going to feel it like going downhill on a skateboard and hitting a rock.
Yeah. Yeah, did you know they actually take a splitter, a rub-away splitter, and put it underneath the front lip of all the race cars during practice, and actually measure how much it grinds away on the track, and that's how they know how to set the ride height?
No, I did not. I'm sorry. I'm sitting here with my jaw down. No, talk about low-tech, but genius.
Yeah, so now you make it, now you set your ride height, and where the actual bumper sits, now you know how much air gap you need to make. So a little bit of air gets underneath, but not enough. So they can figure out if there are too many bumps in the track, if they need to soften it up a little bit, and try to make sure they have an even wear pattern. That way they're not shooting sparks out or anything. But definitely as they put a splitter underneath there, set the bumper, put a smaller splitter to help cut underneath, and that one is meant to grind away as well in case under the draft or anything else, if the car squats down a little bit, and that's how they set it up. So right now, if you see guys, coming through a turn, you see sparks coming out of the back, that is not a good thing. Something's happened.
We had that in I saw that one time where the sides were hitting at a racetrack.
Yeah, the Big Show. Yeah, we were watching with the Big Show, and the way they had set up the car, the new update unfortunately had messed with the right side of the cars on the Gen 6s, and they were contacting the ground. Which he said no matter how high he picked it up, he did just for giggles, increased the air pressure and lifted the car all the way up, and it was still grinding on the ground. So it was just a visual, fortunately. But,
yeah.
but it wasn't. It wasn't going horrible, but right now this is looking like a pretty good race here so far. Everybody kind of staying pretty tucked and tight here. As everybody's trying to run it around, I'm looking to see if anybody out here is really pressing another driver. I'm seeing everybody's kind of pretty decently spread apart here from everybody out there on the track. I don't know if Hastings has anything for Justin Cope. He has been running Cope down pretty well here the past couple of laps. He's only about 2/10 off his back bumper, so it looks like he's trying to make a run for it. But this is kind of what Hastings has been doing all race, running up right behind somebody, hangs out there about 2 to 3 laps and zings past him. So right now we are riding along with Brandon Hastings, trying to see if he can take a look and find out if he's going to get underneath of Cope. Cope trying to hold on to it here. Boy. Yeah, Cope right now might be in some trouble as he's got definitely a mirror full of Brandon Hastings. Hastings is going to take another look underneath, and right now let's see how Hastings is doing. See, he's having to wheel this car around. Everything seems pretty solid here so far. Car's rotating pretty well. You see Hastings down on the bottom, and I think we're into the wall. You see it jerking around pretty bad there. And I think right now that 59 machine having some trouble as he's shooting around the track, which is going to allow Hastings to pick up his 13th position here of the night, which now levels him out with Justin Cope. Cope was actually up 13 positions as well. So these guys start side by side and now revisiting each other here in the top 10.
Yeah, I think Hassler's going to be in trouble here any second. I'm looking at him probably getting overtaken by Corey Hines.
Oh boy. All right, well, we'll definitely check back with Hassler. That means Thomas Stanley must be another lap down as well. So, unfortunately, it's 62 Toyota, but we are still side by side here. Justin Cope on the top side, 59 Ford holding on to it here as Hastings now picking up the pace, trying to see if he can push Cope. Yeah, Cope gets a little nervous, sees that 91 coming up hot. Cope now makes contact with the wall, and that is going to end the battle between these two guys. Hastings now gets a hold of that 9th position, and Justin Cope drops down to 10th, rolling back where Corey Hassler is. And right now you were saying he's about to be in some trouble here by Hines. That actually might be Hines right there.
I believe so.
Yeah, Hines has got that thing on a rail here. And so far, so good. Looking to see as he is diving into one. That is Corey Hines right behind him here. Yes, that is. 57 getting ready to run him down in just a moment as they are holding on to it.
Now, I'm not sure whether, or why Hassler would be using Corey Hines to check any, but Hall and Taylor are now under a second.
Yeah, right
just
now,
behind him.
Yeah, right now Johnny Taylor in the number 3 down underneath of Dustin Hall. Hall blindly getting being under fire here tonight as that 11 has moved his way on up. All 6 cars in the top 10.
What?
Yeah, well, all the top 6 cars here in the top 10 are
Okay.
all Chevrolets here. That's what I was trying to say. Is I was like all 6 cars in the top 10, kind of nixing the bottom 3, are all Chevrolets, and Johnny Taylor's is really the fastest one out there on the track as of late. He's been on a move here, but Dustin Hall kicks it into another gear he somehow seems to find. I guess he dented that firewall down just enough to get that gas pedal to go a little more, and now Dustin Hall able to pull away from Johnny Taylor. So battle for second ends just as fast as it began. And moving on through, we're going to check back on Schaefer. I believe Schaefer's getting pretty close to seeing if he can shoot around somebody. Right now, Sisler might be in some trouble here. Sisler is getting held up. Right now, that is Sikosi down on the bottom. And Sikosi's been down about a couple handfuls of laps. I think he's still down about 8. Yep, 8 laps.
Yeah.
8 laps or so here for Sikosi. And Thomas Stanley is taking it down the pits. 62 Toyota, first one to join pit road here, as everybody else last time pit on lap 122. Oh yeah, 3 wide heading into 3, looking like Sikosi out front, trying to see if Eric Schaefer's going to get around Sisler. Sisler, he's not in the mood for this. He's going to hang out up as high as he can, but right now I'll battle him in another turn. So 66 machine trying to see if he can hold on out there. It is working. So far, he's wrangling that car here all race. Seems to have tightened up, and it's getting better the more long run it's going. Right now, taking a look at Sisler's time. Last lap was a 24.88. Unfortunately, that is actually the slowest time here in the top 10. And he's going to need some more help here. Right now, he may have to start considering what more long run speed he can do out there on the track. Ooh. Little shot there from Eric Schaefer. Schaefer getting loose. And right now, that is one thing. These guys know what each other are going to do. If there's a nudge, hey, no hard feelings. I'll meet you next lap, sort of thing. Nobody's really boxing each other out and kind of putting each other into the wall here, which is really good to see out of any league. So you do see good rivalries out here, but not ones where guys are being destructive. That is absolutely not tolerated here in the NSR, and especially when incident points are taken into account here.
I think that's a good one. The being defensive but not destructive.
Right.
Is the way, good racing.
Yeah, everybody gets loose and rubbing's racing. Things happen, but and so far all we've seen is netcode out here. Which unfortunately has taken out a handful of cars.
Schaefer did a nice move there when he came up from underneath, just as he passed him. I mean, there'd be birds in the air if somebody did that to me on the highway. But that was a great move.
Yeah, Al made sure to go ahead and cut off any opportunity there. I do want to rotate back up and check out Johnny Taylor, who looked like he was sniffing around the bottom side there to see if he could find an angle. Maybe some fresh air to get out from behind Dustin Hall here. Something tells me Johnny Taylor's car is set up for more a front row fresh air speed, and he's just kind of getting choked out by Dustin Hall and his Chevrolet. It's right in front of him. So the 3 trying to see if he can slice on around, maybe trying to intimidate him with that number 3 car, and see if he can shake up Dustin Hall. But when you got teammates sitting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's not going to be easy to do. So Johnny Taylor actually almost out here riding along with teammates. Gets a good run out of 2, stays high, and runs down Dustin Hall. I'm interested to see if Johnny Taylor is going to have anything for him as he slices underneath. No can do for Johnny Taylor. Might have to take another one. Bad turn. Dustin Hall loses traction here coming out of 4. Almost makes contact with the wall, and Johnny Taylor is there to pounce. Up to second he goes, but Dustin Hall looking to triangulate that turn and run him down one more time. No can do, but he's going to have a fender on him heading into 3.
Yeah, if he didn't take a piece of that wall with him, I'd be very shocked.
Yeah, Johnny Taylor seeming to hold him off here. This is looking pretty good as we take a look off the side of the Johnny Taylor's car, and right now he's got him beat. No can do here for Dustin Hall, but man, oh man, I guarantee you, how do you shake this off? How do you not start punching the wheel going, man, I was so close, I had it. I was fending him off for so many laps, but once again, in the blink of an eye, away they go. And this is kind of continuing on through. Nobody's stopping him here. And Johnny Taylor still on a roll, reprising his role back in that second spot, trying to run down Corey Hines, but Hines out by that 1.7 mark. He's kind of laughing this one away as he's continuing on through the track.
Yeah, how do you shake it off? You say I got 70 laps to go. I can do this.
70 laps and a pit stop to go. Remember, everybody last pit on 122, which was some time ago. So 122, we are looking at 187 is where we are. So that has been about 65 laps without tires and without fuel. So we have been out there for quite some time. These guys might want to start considering when to come down. Remember I said earlier that Thomas Stanley had come down pit road, and he came down on 172. But he was down there for a minute and a half, so we definitely know that Toyota had some problems fixing that car on up, and out he's going to go. So sawing back and forth. Our top 20 drivers still out there on the track. In the top 15 right now, for now, are still on the lead lap. So we're still kind of toying around with it. Stoney Benfield might be kind of in some trouble here, looking to see if he's going to be able to maintain. I think right now he's sitting about 21, almost 22 seconds off pace, which should mean about 2 seconds behind Stoney here is going to be inevitably Corey Hines. That should be him there on the bottom.
Yikes. Yep, he's eating them up.
Yeah.
Give that man a Snickers.
That was definitely working it here. Let's check back here with Cope. I think Cope is back, trying to see, as he was fighting there with Brandon Hastings. Now Michael Strickland was taking a look, and now Cope is getting back up to 10th. Sisler and Hastings going at it. Man, there's action everywhere still on this track here, even at lap 191. These guys are well out of contention of winning this race, but man, they race like they're going to, and Brandon Hastings sending it. Heading out of 4 here, not afraid at all of Sisler. These guys might start banging doors once again here and try to see if they can hold on to it. But who is going to get the better of it here? Sisler has actually been on the roll backwards here as the past a couple decades of laps here we've seen trying to move on through, where Sisler has been trying to fight back. He's just not got, he doesn't have it. I think he knows he needs tires. But it's hard to hang with Team Conti in their setup here and trying to pit at the exact same time they have. So has Team Conti conserved their tires? Have they conserved their fuel that the rest of these guys have not considered? Sometimes a quick gear ratio change will make all the difference. Actually, you know, probably 3 to 4 laps actually making a gear ratio change, helping guys pull out of these turns. And right now, I guarantee you, if there's one thing somebody's hoping for, caution.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm looking at Taylor and Hall have now dropped 2 and 3 seconds behind Corey Hines. So, yeah, they're even out of contention of making a bid for the lead.
Yeah. Well, looks like Brandon Hastings finally gets over Matt Sisler. He's now putting Sisler way behind him. Battles here in the back start slowing down. It looked like everybody at one time was considering passing each other here, as I guarantee you it's getting down to the point of needing to pit. We're going to be coming down to about 65 laps left to go before they have to pit. We are looking at Stoney Benfield, and this is unfortunately him going a lap down. 57 machine of right now of Corey Hines. This guy is on a roll. I don't think anything's going to stop this dude.
No, so you're saying that most of these guys pit at 120, 122, so they're able to go over 70 laps, and if they could possibly pit one more time and be done, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so they are trying to go just as far as they possibly can to ensure that in case there's a green white checker or something like that.
Yeah. Right now they've been out there on the track for the last the last 75 laps. And no one has pit yet. So we're kind of weighing their options here of how far they're going to need to go to make it here to the end. This being pretty tough that we're seeing here. Stella right now sitting with 250 laps. 198 have just been about run. 52 laps will be left to go left on this track. So when do they pit? I mean, I would assume they have to pit. You know, we're going to be out of fuel. But how they conserve their tires to this point? You know, I definitely would assume some of these guys, have to take 4. But
I'd say everybody.
And any of them have the stones to take 2?
You think like maybe Taylor or Hall does it to try to beat Hines out of the pit?
Either that, Bruno, Schaefer, Hastings, Sisler. I mean, those guys taking only 2 tires. Yes, it would saw off about 4 seconds, but what would 4 seconds do for Sisler? Take him from 9th and sling him into 6th. You know, he could pick up 4 positions here just by taking 2. But the gutsy move of, remember I was talking about that left rear tire is going to come into play. So you're almost at a 4-tire stop. It's going to be damn difficult to see guys only taking 2. You and I saw actually a winner here at Iowa from a 2-tire pit stop call. But that was only with about 12 laps left to go. That was Justice Murphy, who actually ended up winning that race here at Iowa in the trucks. But
that's a whole different ball of wax, though. When you look at it, was under caution with 12 laps to go, was it not?
Yeah, they came in under caution pit. He took 2 tires, slung him back out, and then he was able to outrun everybody.
So yeah, if these guys go green. Yeah, that's a big call. Oh, we have a taker.
Yep, I think we are first one. John Williams. There he is, number 5 Chevrolet, working his way on down. That should be a red flag for everybody else going, all right, first guy down. Let's try it out. So we'll see as they are under 50 laps left to go for this race. Williams will be our first one down. Everybody not taken, still staying out there on the track. I know a couple guys are taking a peek, trying to see if they got anything for him. Nathan Biggert, he was been moving actually up here as of late. He passed Strickland, Cope, he passed Wheeler. He kept on going. Strickland now working his way down. All right, so we got some guys nibbling here. Corey Hines, no chance. Still staying out there on the track. Man, I'm wondering.
What do you think with a mile track coming down? How if say you've got all the gas in the world right now, how late can you wait? Because if you come down green flag, you lose how many positions?
It depends how long you're in pit and how many adjustments you're making.
Okay, how long are there the pit stall versus pit lane combined together? How long is that taking them?
About 51 seconds, 49 to 51 seconds. So right now we're seeing John Williams. Williams has made it out of pit road. He's already back on the track. 4 tires and fuel for him, and he's down a lap.
Yes, so that's what I was looking at, down to 1 lap, if not 2. That's rough. That is rough. That's all I was trying to compare it with the green flag lap. Sometimes these, one track, they can come back out and they're like 7 places behind. Sometimes they come out and they're 2 laps down. So that's what I was kind of curious.
Yeah, I can kind of toy around with each other out here a little bit to figure out if they got anything for him out here. Right now, John Williams' last lap was a 23:52. Excuse me, a 23:89. Right now, Corey Hines is running a 24:56. So still pretty comparable here as we got another driver heading down pit road. I believe that was Matthew Wheeler we just saw Corey Hines passing. Boy, this is some trouble here. Right now, I believe only the top 7 cars are still on the lead lap. And they are all waiting to find out when Corey Hines is going to come down pit.
That's it. That's exactly it.
Yeah, the question I would think is Corey Hines only going to take just enough fuel to make it to the end? So every lap he runs, he's going over to his the black box that's inside of his car and ticking it down, another 2 to 3 gallons. Hey, I'm not going to need that. I was able to stay out longer. Nope, I'm not. These other guys who are coming down, like right now, Johnny Taylor, he's now taking. Okay. So Johnny Taylor working his way down pit. So he's going to need to take more fuel, obviously, to keep, to make it the length of the race. Corey Hines, with as fast as he's been running, 23:32 is his best time. 24:59 was his last. So,
That's
I mean,
not much fall off.
No.
Even with retired.
No, 1.2 seconds. I mean, that's not bad.
Coming in. Schaefer coming in.
Yeah, Schaefer's best time was a 23:50. A 25:13 was his last lap. So he has fallen off a lot. And right now, Schaefer back down now to 7th. 6th as Sisler slides on by. But right now they are starting to kind of mark this one off, say, nope, I ain't waiting for Hines much longer.
Yeah, I'm not going to coast in. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, right now Hines still on a roll here. Right now looking to see, yep, he's coming. This is it.
Here he comes.
Adam Benfield, I believe he's coming down. Yep, he's coming. Brandon Hastings.
Oh.
This will be our guy here in third.
He's got enough time to make that decision.
Yeah, Hastings. Yep, he's slowing down. He's coming.
There you go.
And Sisler will be our last of our holdouts. And Sisler's working his way on down. Trying to see if he can slow it on down. Remember, woof. A lot of what people forget when they head down pit road, their tires are worn out, their brakes are hot, and then they hit the brakes and it doesn't stop the car.
Yeah, they're coming from, I don't know, how fast were they going?
Top speeds are about that 160 mark.
Okay, to slow it down to pit road speed, that's going to take quite a bit of brakes, because you can't slow down coming in that turn that fast.
Yeah. Driver who has stayed out there right now for most of this time, Keith Fonseca, has actually came down and he pit on lap 123. He pit one lap after everybody else, so he is actually remaining out there. Dustin Hall was the first one to pit back on lap 200.
Okay.
John Williams, remember, he came down. He was another biter on 201.
And a single.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, right now, Hines even staying out as long as he had. Hall may, he's going to try to stay out as far as he can, as Hines is behind by 5 seconds. Still an option or a possibility of being able to run him down. I'm just watching how many people laps down have really got to start blasting through this field. Sisler down to 14th now. But we still have some guys riddled in there. Jerry Culver. There we go. Ath Fonseca coming in.
Okay.
Culver's another driver who's yet to pit. There we go. Now Culver's coming down. I believe Corey Hassler, that's another driver who's yet to pit. On lap 122, he came down. So we're about to have a lot of guys start shuffling up. It may look like a big loss for some of these guys, but not for all. Somebody did do a short pit last time, which was Corey Hassler on 122, an 8.45 second pit stop time. So either it looked like either right side tires and a full tank of fuel, and out he went.
Who's coming? Hassler
right
this
now.
time.
Yeah, this is Corey Hassler here. So that should be our last driver who is yet to pit. Remember, Sikosi, he came out on 143, but that was after a disconnect.
Oh, yeah.
So, but Dustin Hall is our leader. Out front, Sisler sitting 11th. He is a lap down, unfortunately. But Sisler are going to look to see if he can run down Dustin Hall to get his lap back, get back on the lead lap, and try to run down Cope. Right now, Cope is only out in front by about 2 seconds. Off Hall. Hall, what a... Man, almost looked like a block there, as Sisler had a huge run 1 through 2. Yeah, he's going to have to go back to the drawing board, see if he can pass him here. Good center of the turn for Sisler as he gets his lap back. Dustin Hall still remaining in the lead, though. And this is interesting to see, Stella, as this one's kind of marching down to the very last parts of this race. Sisler trying to capitalize. There he goes. Matthew Wheeler will be next. But Wheeler's, I don't think he's going to have a chance here, as he's falling behind Adam Benfield. Benfield is our 5th place driver. He's off by about 4.8 seconds. Remember Hines. Hines was originally off by 5 seconds off pace, trying to run down Dustin Hall. And that has been cut down to less than 1.5 seconds. Corey Hines definitely making the angles here, trying to see if he can make a shot. But what can he do? We'll have to see. And definitely be a possibility. 31 laps left to go, Stella. This has been a good one so far, and definitely pit strategy playing off exactly the way I think some wanted and some didn't.
Looking at Taylor is still, he's there up in contention, right behind in 3rd place. But Schaefer did not make a good transition. No. Schaefer kind of messed up a little bit. I do look at 46.85 pit lane time. He's right there with the best of them, 14.67 in the box. He was actually faster in the box than anybody else here in the top 10. So he might have shorted himself a little bit on gas to take 4 tires?
No, I wouldn't think.
Okay.
I wouldn't think, not for Schaefer. I just think something ended up. Remember, Schaefer ended up hitting on lap 209. with Mark Bruno. Most of these other guys have pit much later. Right now, Adam Benfield is sitting there with a 2:11. Johnny Taylor came in on 2:08. And it's oddly enough that kind of a different angle of how they work out there. And kind of when you come down is going to be the other area. I do want to take a peek here. I'm not saying something bad happened here, but it says something happened back here with Mr. Strickland. And I don't know if it caused a caution or not. This may be on new tires.
Ouch. Oh, man. All right, well, that was painful, and that was definitely looked like a new tire spin. Back down pit road we go.
Yeah, well, I believe he is taking it back to the garage, and that's going to do it for him.
Aw.
Yeah.
I'll miss my fancy Fanta.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's going to be returning here. Right now, it looks like lap 204 is when he made it to, and then that's going to be it for him. Dustin Hall has been passed by Corey Hines, and Hines is now taken off 1.5 seconds here.
And with authority,
yeah. Yeah, that definitely took over quick. Definitely no time. No time wasted. Back on lap 222 is when he passed him here. This is a look at the pass. Let's see how fast Hines gets around him here. Ooh, quick dive. Down to the bottom, no questions asked. Clean pass, around he goes. Wow.
Yeah.
And I guarantee it'll be one of those conversations if Dustin Hall can make it here in the final three. He's gonna say, "Man, I just didn't have anything for him, but it was still worth the shot." Looking to see if Johnny Taylor is gonna get it here. Taylor looking underneath. You see the black car behind him. That's Benfield. He's gonna be looking to see if he can come in for a top 3 spot, but not so fast as Dustin Hall. Still trying to hold on to it here as they are looking on the inside of Dustin Hall. Can they get it? Man. Yeah, right now they're trying to hold on as best they can. Good work here by Johnny Taylor, trying to see if he can fly on around. Dustin Hall's holding his line. Not interested in having the 3 pass him here. Taylor trying to see if he can wheel this thing on around. Whoop.
Wow.
Yep, somebody got a little squirrely here.
Who's that? 13?
Yeah, 13 is right next to him. Remember, that is Culver. Culver's been in some trouble here all race. He's letting these 2 Chevys go at it. Right now, Taylor, this is the battle for second. Taylor trying to hold on to it. The more they battle, the more Hines is pulling away. Now up to 3.5 seconds between these 2 guys. And now, man, Taylor up toward the top. Hall in the middle. Benfield is now showing up. He's in the fight now.
Yikes.
Holy cow. Yeah, right now we're riding along with Benfield. Right to his inside at the moment is Dustin Hall. Hall goes from 2nd down to 4th. There goes Hall right behind him. And staying out front is going to be Johnny Taylor. Adam Benfield is going to try to run him down. Right now, no can do as Taylor gets it. Oh, where's a good slide move?
Wow. Yes.
Yeah, waiting to see if Taylor's got anything for him here. And Johnny Taylor riding on top. Oh, here's the contact with Culver.
Yeah,
Culver coming down on Benfield here, and they are running up on some lap traffic. And I believe that is Justin Cope in front of him here. Benfield running out of room. Here it comes, top side. To get up in that chopper view as they're breaking 3 wide. Taylor sending it down to the bottom. Benfield holding it. Culver, remember Culver is a few laps down here.
Yeah. But
Culver 2 laps down, sitting 14th, still making the battle. It looks like Johnny Taylor's trying to hold on to Benfield and not let him get away.
Yeah, both Cope and Benfield are lapped down, and they are in the mix here with the big dogs.
Yeah, now right now definitely putting up a fight. They were moving on back to Schaefer. Schaefer and Bruno are getting ready to go at it. That'll be the race here for 6th with 17 laps left to go. Right now, I know Taylor would love to pass Adam Benfield, but he's been on a roll here as of late. Remember, both Corey Hines and Adam Benfield, I don't believe either one of these guys qualified as they both gained 18 positions here on the night. So they both started from the back of the field, and then they're trying to, shuffle it up here in the front as they pass the entire field, and now passing them, it looks like almost all of them again, just to prove a point is what it seems.
Well, so that makes Hines, Benfield, and Taylor all started in the back?
No, Johnny Taylor started fourth.
Okay. I'm sorry. I was trying to catch up with you there. But, yeah, they're and then to lap them again, that's pain.
Yeah, that's going to be rough. Right now I'm hoping Taylor has not burned up his tires here as he's now falling a second off Adam Benfield. Not seeming to catch up to him at all here. As it looks like the battle has simmered down. Eric Schaefer and Bruno is actually starting to heat up. Bruno in the 19 Chevrolet up top, Schaefer in the 4 Chevrolet on the bottom. Schaefer did have that top spot, but he's sitting there definitely toying around. Whoa, Schaefer down on the paint, rotates up into Bruno. Bruno gets away. It looks like that's going to calm down just a bit until Schaefer can cool those tires off and try to one more time. Dustin Hall, he's running down the number 3. Culver still toying around with these guys. Remember, Culver, he came down in on lap 214, one of the latest drivers to come down. So his tires are quite fresh out there racing around with Johnny Taylor, who came in on 208. That's why I think he was able to kind of toy around and drive with them. But unfortunately, it is not going to pay off as we see Benfield working around Sikosi. Sikosi is still down 8 laps. Trying to see if we can get a couple more. Looking to see if Thomas Stanley was able to return.
Huh.
Yeah, Stanley was actually able to get back out here. I think he ended up having some trouble out there for a little bit. Remember, he ended up with a boatload of damage.
Come back, but he's in front of Sikosi with 7 laps down.
Yeah, so right now they're kind of pushing it here, trying to see if anybody else is going to make a shot for it here. Taylor's off by 5 seconds. Benfield, what a wild run this race for these guys to make it happen. But that is Team Conti for you. Right now lined up for a 1, 2, and 3 here tonight. Yeah. I mean, if we want to really push it, 4 and 5 are also them as well.
Really?
Yep, yeah, John Williams and Dustin Hall. Yep. Yeah, the only person we're missing out of this tangle up here is Brandon Hastings, who's 8th.
Hey. Wow.
Yeah, and he's the last one on the lead lap. So.
Yeah, they are eating them up with only 8 left. Well, that does happen on a short track sometimes. So we've seen it with Bristol that there'll be 7 people left in the race and everybody else just battling to finish.
Yeah, well, it does make for a short track more of an individual effort. You know, once we end up at Michigan and Indianapolis next week, we're going to see teams, guys trying to draft each other and get away from the rest of the pack. Instead of kind of, messing around and trying to see if they can come up with any kind of different angles out there, but it's not going to happen. Bruno and Schaefer might be thinking about going at it again. These guys are only separated by about 0.3 of a second. They are the closest drivers out here on the track. Schaefer starting to squeeze down just a little bit. Bruno getting into that turn pretty hot there. He's able to squeak away, but it costs him on the back end as Schaefer's now reeling him in. Looks like everything's staying pretty calm out here with only about 6 laps left to go, Stella. Right now, I'm interested to see and talk to Corey Hines once again about, what in the world this guy is doing out here to come up with this kind of speed. Definitely when you got a crew chief and you got spotters out there, man, it definitely pays off. What I would do for something like that.
and the practice. You've got to be practicing out here. There's no way they can do this going, I think I'll do Iowa. I did that a couple months ago, so I'll still be just fine. No, these guys have got to put in hours and hours and then to and hours and hours, just like the real deal.
Yeah. Well, yeah, 100%. I will admit, a name comes to mind when you talk about that. Christopher Darling. That was a driver. He never practiced. Yeah, I'll show up for Michigan. And then he'd go out there and lead it by 8 seconds. You're like, dude, what? How'd that happen? But that was also fixed league. So, I mean, it was just timing. Driver and everybody had the same car. Corey Hines, 3 laps left to go, leading by just under 3 seconds over top of Benfield and Johnny Taylor sitting third. Taylor is off by about 6 seconds off this run here. Right now, looking to see if anybody else may be having some trouble. We might rotate back. Yeah, let's see if we can find Sisler. Sisler and Nathan Biggert have been going at it here for the last couple of laps, and I do want to take a peek in and see how they're doing. As Sisler, I think, is trying to make a bid for one more position here. Right now, pit timing, we are looking at Nathan Biggert came in on 203. Sisler came in on 211. As long as they took care of their tires, they should be, Sisler should have him here. Biggert going to hold the top line. Sisler dropping down to the bottom, no problem. Keith Fonseca shows Keith Fonseca crashed out there. I don't know if he has a problem, but he is taking it back to the garage. Final lap out, and it looks like Sisler slowing down, not going to have it here. That's going to do it, and we are watching right now our leader here for just about this entire race. Corey Hines bringing it around turn number 4 for the final time as he crosses the line to win the Iowa 250. Rotating on back to Adam Benfield, who gets right now second, and Johnny Taylor, who looks like he wants to wreck the car because it kind of fell apart on him here at the end.
I was hoping he wasn't DQ'd himself by going across the line below the paint or something.
No. I want to see what happened. It said happened to Keith Fonseca here. Looked like John Williams got there, and then he kind of... Yeah, I think he had enough. I think when he saw John Williams in 5th place passing him there, he kind of called it quits. All right. Excellent race here by our guys. We'll see. We'll be talking to Hines, Benfield, and Taylor, as these guys did a fantastic job. We'll see how well they do. This has definitely been a great race here so far. If you guys hold on just a moment, we'll kind of make it through his burnouts here, and we'll go ahead and get these guys revved up and ready to go. Hold on just a moment.
All right.
All righty, everybody. Caught up with our 3rd place finisher here, Johnny Taylor. Johnny, man, this race was a fantastic one. I got to admit, definitely the way you guys raced, green flag all the way from the lap 120 pit stop at the stage all the way to the end, man. Is that kind of how the car was set up?
Yeah, it was a pretty good long run car there. We just managed the tires, and passing here is pretty brutal to pass here. You can really make that top side work and pinch someone's exit off. So just had to have the track position really and hold the tires onto it.
Man, and holding the tires onto it. With the pit strategy, we saw some guys come in as early as 200. Other guys held out to almost lap 218. You kind of found just about that sweet spot around 208. Would you go back and change it at all?
Yeah, if I could go back, I'd probably would have pit a few laps later there. Maybe I would have been able to have something for Adam. finishing second. But overall, I don't think anyone was beating Corey tonight, whether they undercut him or went a little longer. Either way, he had such a big lead, and yeah, it was a good race.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and take these short tracks, put them behind us. Let's head to a super speedway of Michigan. Confidence level heading there. To me, it's one of my favorites. The nice long sweeping turns. Definitely the setups there are fun. Talk to me a little bit about it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Michigan there. A little change of scenery and run some of the high-speed stuff. We've been at a few short tracks here lately, so change of pace would be pretty good.
Yeah, it would be pretty nice. Hopefully, Team Conti might have something to kind of toy around with you two, with all you guys, really 1 through 5 coming in clutch there. Brandon Hastings hanging out there in 8th. He's the only one that was kind of dangling off the end there, but definitely fantastic race here. Johnny, go ahead and give me your shout-outs, buddy.
I'd like to shout out Team Conti and the boys, Nick and Dustin, Adam, all them boys there. They do a real good job building good sets week in and week out, and y'all for putting up the broadcast.
Oh, yeah. Not a problem, dude. Yeah, Merry Christmas and have a Happy New Year, bud. We'll definitely see you next Saturday.
Yeah, you guys as well. Happy holidays.
All right, Johnny. Congratulations. All right, moving on from Johnny Taylor to Adam Benfield. Benfield, it was our second place driver, and I think he was trying to top Corey Hines, but just wasn't able to get that last spot. Talk to me a little bit here, Adam. Up 18 positions on the night. Definitely, car was fast tonight.
Yeah, started out a little slow, but definitely got faster the longer the race went. I just think the difference of him, he was able to drive up through there, and I started off a little too tight at the beginning, but just needed a caution with me being up in the top 3, I think, to be able to really give him a run for the money. Really wish I had 10 more laps there. My stuff was pretty stellar on the long run.
Wow. Well, definitely, for any of these guys who have been out here watching and, and are considering out here racing, talk to me a little bit about it. Is a race like this, is it kind of a driver against driver, or is it driver and car? You guys get these things set up just right and make it work?
I like this place right here. In my opinion, it's driver and car. I mean, you gotta really know how to manage your stuff, and I mean, like, I could have fired off and done it, but like I said, I started a little tighter than him for the back end, and that's why he's probably a little bit freer starting off, so he was able to fire off better. But I think that's why you see how the field gets spread out so much is people just got different driving styles, and I'm always been that way. Everybody knows that I'm gonna ride the first 15, 20 laps before I start going anywhere. Yeah, but I don't know. I really like. Last week was one thing. This was, like I felt like we were there. We could have done it on a late race restart, but I really felt like we had. I mean, I'm happy for him, but I feel like I had a better car. So I just wish I would have started out a little bit freer because we were absolutely hauling ass.
Man, dude, if you had qualified, you think you'd have had it instead?
Oh man, he started in the back.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, I know. You guys started side by side. What the heck?
He started up freer, man.
Oh.
So no, I don't like to. I came in late, and I just came into the series late, and I don't want to. I feel like out of respect to everybody, some way, I don't really know. I just don't qualify. Kind of let them have their thing, and then I'll like that first stage. I'm normally just chilling and letting those guys race, and about midway through the second stage, I kind of okay, I'm gonna start positioning myself. I'm not really in the championship fight, so I don't want to be that guy that goes into turn 1 on the first lap and kills somebody that's in a battle with somebody else in points.
Right.
Well,
Man.
you are in the standings.
I am, but I can't. I don't have a chance of winning championship, so that's the only thing I would really care about for it.
At least get to the championship.
Maybe. Maybe. I was
Yeah.
going to say, Combs wasn't here. Hammond wasn't here. Stoney, he didn't have the best night. 13th spot for him. Strickland, he ended up heading back to the garage. He finished 20th. So, this is going to start really slinging you up through the ranks here and probably put you right into the points chase, seeing that we only got about three races left to go. I mean, we're at Michigan, Indianapolis, and Atlanta. Let's start with Michigan, super speedway style. I like those long sweeping tracks. How about you?
I mean, I didn't know that was the next. Is it old Atlanta or new Atlanta?
Well, old Atlanta actually is the one right before we go to the round of 12 cutoff. We have Michigan, Indianapolis, then Atlanta.
Okay, yeah, those are three tracks that probably top 3 of my list. I mean, with old Atlanta and Indy being right there, 1, 2. Or I think it's Old Michigan.
It is Old Michigan.
Okay, yeah, I love that place. So I don't know. I mean, hell, I might have to just knock Corey off the pedestal that everybody's got him up on.
There you go. Well, one win will definitely lock you in. Obviously, it's a win and you're in. So the only people so far have been Brandon Banks, Dakota Ehrman, and Corey Hines now for the 5th time coming away with a win. Adam, dude, I hope to see it, Michigan. Maybe you get a shot here, man. Definitely, you put the time in, make it work. Give me your shout-outs here.
Yeah, just everybody at Team Conti, Sim Performance, Martin PCs. Check them out for all your PC needs. They got unbelievable stuff. The Apex Designs for painting these beautiful hot rods. My wife for letting me come in here and hang out and play on a game. And we actually had Audie himself in there tonight, coaching over Brandon Hastings. So big thanks to those two. They do a lot behind the scenes, especially Ottinger. He's the one that builds these rockets every single week. So just thanks to those guys. Thanks for y'all for broadcasting, and Mark for putting on this league.
All righty. Congratulations on your 2nd place finish, man. We'll see you at Michigan.
Appreciate it.
All right. That is going to do it for the 2nd and 3rd. But let's go ahead and move on to our race winner, Corey Hines. Corey, man, once again, we're up to a high 5. 5 wins here so far this season. Talk to me about it. I mean, is it getting old?
No, never gets old when guys are bringing bad fast setups every week. It's fun to drive them.
Man, well, definitely it kind of. I was joking with Adam, you guys don't qualify. You hang out in the back, but you come away not only with another win, but you lap 90% of the field here. I believe only the top 7 or 8 were the only ones left in the run here that weren't at least one lap down.
Yeah, that's all week. That's kind of been the strong suit of the setup. The guys at Team County did a real good job on it. It's been superb on the long run pretty much all week. So it's kind of what I expected from it.
All right, let's talk long run a little bit as I kind of keep an eye on your car out there. You get out to about 3/4 of a second, if not a second and a half, and then stop. Are we conserving?
Yeah, that really long run we had, it was the longest run we had all night, so I didn't really want to burn it up too bad. I mean, what did we go there? Probably
170 or something. 130 laps.
Oh yeah, it was a really long run. I think it ended up being like 80 or 90 laps.
Yeah, I think on the amount of tires. I think 122 is when you guys came in. He came in on 211.
Okay.
Yeah, so he was out there a right while. So definitely hanging in there. I don't think you can pull anything like that at Michigan, Corey. The rest of your team is maybe calling their shot, saying, "Hey, this is super speedway, but we're going to try to tweak it just a little more to be faster than you." What are you going to do to come away with win number 6?
Just get some laps in, I guess. I've been struggling with my line a little bit there, but I think I found it a little bit here, and the car's, I think it's going to be another really great one again.
All right, man. Well, we'll definitely hope so. Last question before I get your shout-outs here. What was the hardest part about this track? I mean, you were out there, but I know single line driving here at Iowa was pretty much the name of the game. I mean, did you find anything that was the key to your success tonight?
I think a lot of the passes, once it moved up to the top, it got really hard to pass guys if they kind of kept you from running that line. So you kind of had to find ways to either throw a slider or kind of bomb it in on their outside.
Yeah, we saw that awesome pass that you made there with Dustin Hall, where now he finished fourth. Did look like a sweet move there toward the bottom, slide up through 3 and 4, and then that was it. Never looked back. So, all right, man, we'll see you at Michigan. Congratulations on your win here at the Iowa 250. Go and give me a shout-outs.
Yeah, you guys doing a great job on the broadcast as always, and Team Conti for bringing the setups that make us so fast out there.
Man, I know I would love to see to feel one of those setups. Those things are awesome. The way you guys are running, I spend hours and hours and hours tuning. If I had at least a starting point, sometimes, man, I think I could shave half my time away. Corey Hines, congratulations on your win here, buddy, and we'll definitely see you next week.
All right, thank you.
All right, everybody. Corey Hines, once again, another win. Definitely, this man cannot be stopped. We saw Dakota Ehrman and Brandon Banks come away with a couple of wins, but after that, it has been all Corey Hines here for the past few races. Stella, I definitely expect to see Corey Hines to at least be a top contender next week.
Oh, I don't doubt it. Between, like you said, his setups are solid and his driving. Give him a minute to practice, and he'll find his line, and he's got good pit strategy.
Yeah. Hines, Benfield, Taylor, 1, 2, and 3. Dustin Hall ended up in 4th with John Williams in 5th. Mike Bruno, Eric Schaefer were 6th and 7th. Moving on to Brandon Hastings, the last driver of Team Conti, hanging out in 8th. Nathan Biggert was 9th, and finishing out the top 10, Matt Sisler. He qualified just outside the top 10. I see him there in the chat saying he can't believe it, but he was able to get inside the top 10 for the finish. The only league that we are broadcasting right now is the NSR Xfinity Series. If you guys are looking to get picked up by the Simtrax broadcasting team, don't forget to go to simtraxbroadcasting.com, fill out an application, tell us about your league, kind of show us what kind of schedule you have. We do review over past broadcasts that you've had before, and we definitely sponsor races as well, as if you guys are doing a fantastic job out there and doing some great racing. I don't know about you, Stella. I've seen Racing Revolution have a great race. I've seen Doghouse having some great racing. And right now, we saw a great race here tonight with the NSR Xfinity Series. Once again, you can find those guys up on Facebook for the NSR Xfinity Series and join up with this team. As I can tell, every time I shout that out, we get 2 or 3 guys here in their Discord already signing up, getting ready to rock and roll and do a great job, which next week, that's what you're going to see. Michigan International Speedway, that is going to be a fantastic race. Definitely guys are going to be messing around with that pinion preload there in the back to definitely get this car to rotate. Stoney Benfield, take my word for it, my man. I had the same problem. Use that differential preload in the back to help the car rotate, because I definitely want to see Stoney Benfield not place 13th. I want to see that man in the top 5. That way we can have a chat with him. But from all of us here at Simtrax Broadcasting, Patrick Morrison coming to you live with Stella, and we will be well, be safe, be kind, and I'll see all you guys next time.